Hey, what's up? Another edition of Righteous Gym Bros. Movies, Jim, it's Ryan, Chaz, and we got a doozy for you today because we are talking about F1, Formula One, Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem. We went and saw this last night, or you saw it on Friday.
Saw it Friday night.
I saw it on Saturday, and it's going to be interesting because you're going to get two types of reviews, two different perspectives. Because you've got one over here. This guy is the ultimate Formula One fan, race cars aficionado, where I'm more casual. I know nothing about that stuff. I'm very on the surface. So you're going to get two different perspectives. So if you're somebody thinking about watching this movie and you're like, oh man, I'm into racing, whether it's Formula One, NASCAR, whatever it is, I got to know what this movie's about. You've got a professional here. And then if you
I don't know if I go that far,
but
I am the white collar athlete of the family.
You are the white collar
Blue
athlete.
collar.
I like to get a little dirty. And then if you're somebody like, man, I just want to be entertained. I don't really know all about that. You're going to listen to me. I'm going to point you in the right direction. So
still listen to me. Come on.
So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Chaz, and I'm going to let you shine because I'm really wanting to hear your thoughts on this, and especially at the end, your review. So we'll get your thoughts, and we'll start there.
Well, I've already told you when I got out of the movie. What did I say? Best movie I've seen in a long time.
You serious, Clark?
In a while, for me personally. Again, I do follow Formula One, so I am going to be a little bit biased, obviously, because I do enjoy the racing, the car parts, and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but for me, the movie had a little bit of everything in it. Obviously, it had really good action. While they're in the car, they developed a camera system specifically for the movie that might actually make its way into Formula One. That part of it was amazing. I thought they did a really good job there. There's some humor in it. There's a little bit of romantic type deal. Love interest there. It makes sense though. The story is really good. So don't just think it's going to be just a bunch of action. And watching another review, they said that the acting was good to great, and it was. It was top notch. They didn't just really throw this movie together, and you can it really comes through in my opinion. I think I told you what I said. It was pure cinema. Is how I felt. It was a cinematic experience, and when they say, hey, Tom Cruise is always saying you got to see it on the biggest screen possible. Well, I never really bought into that, but for this movie, I feel like he was right. See it in IMAX if you can, see it in the theater. Otherwise, you're not really doing it. It's justice. Yeah, like I say, I really enjoyed it, and I was a little skeptical. Like I wasn't as hyped for this movie as I was for some other movies that have come out recently, like say Ballerina or Thunderbolts. Those movies have been in the pipe for a little while, and those are on my radar. F1 the movie, even though I'm a fan, sometimes with these types of movies they don't always get it right. And I know someone drew parallels to Gran Turismo, which is probably like the next biggest racing themed movie that's come out in recent times, which that was an okay movie. I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad, but for me, this was in a different league than that, in terms of production and just the quality of the movie and how they did it. I basically said, hey, it's Top Gun Maverick, but with Formula One cars. Joseph Kosinski, same director. He basically brought the same formula to this movie, in my opinion. The music worked really well with the movie in conjunction. All the characters all the actors, I should say, played their parts really well for me. So, yeah, it's just a very well packaged film, in my opinion. What about you? I haven't heard his take on it just yet. He saw it late last night, so I'm going to be hearing it for the first time with y'all. So
I did.
let's have it.
And so, look, you're talking to somebody, somebody sitting here talking to you that is not by any means a racing aficionado. So I'm like, look, everybody's talking about this movie is Top Gun Maverick on wheels. I'm like, hey, is this thing even better than Talladega Nights Ricky Bobby?
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
I mean, what are we talking about here? I had to say that. So, Joseph Kosinski directed the movie. So, from a casual perspective, the cinematography is off the charts. It's a beautifully done movie. It is somebody. You talk about action. I regret not going and finding something in 4DX. Well, I wouldn't say I actually regret it. I couldn't find anything in 4DX to watch it. And that's probably the platform you should be seeing this movie in, just like if you were to go see Top Gun Maverick a few years ago when it came out.
Yeah.
The acting is a master class. I mean, for being the film that it is. Brad Pitt. I mean, if you're a Brad Pitt fan, and I'm telling you, if you watch a lot of Brad Pitt films, isn't he always eating in his film?
Screw it. Bring on the yams.
Well, but you've worked so hard.
Yams!
Okay.
Ocean's 11.
That's just a random tidbit, but he's stuffing his face in there. But anyway, he plays the character, exactly the way it needs to be played. Javier Bardem is absolutely excellent.
He was my favorite character, by the way, as Ruben.
I would absolutely, he's like the owner of but him and Brad Pitt's character were racing. I don't know if they were partners or they were
teammates.
Teammates
by the looks of the cover,
so there's some flashback scenes in there. You had some. Then you also had Damson Idris. Great sub character there. He was also, and I say sub character, he was a lead in there as well. He played his part perfectly. So I was entertained. Never where I was bored. It hit in the right parts. Just when you would think that it's kind of, you're starting to hit a lull, boom, it takes off again. So you're always like, okay. If there was any kind of, not a negative, but something that kind of brought it down, it ran a little bit too long in some instances. But other than that, excellent movie, well done. I think something that was needed in an injection into the movie world right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not now. Is it? Again, I'm not a racing car guy, so if you're looking at racing car movies, like you talk about Gran Torino, Ferrari, go back to Days of Thunder, and I liked those movies. Is it like blow away? I'm completely blown away. Is it like way up there? No, but it's definitely above average. I will say that we were completely entertained during the entire movie. So if you like fast cars, if you're just a fan, definitely go check it out, because I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all.
Well, even if you're not into the cars, you brought up a good point in another movie, Days of Thunder. I'm not really a NASCAR guy, and there's a lot of people who aren't, but I think everyone can agree that it's still a good movie, even though it happened to be about NASCAR, and that sport. But would you agree that you, again, like you said, you're not a racing guy, but you can still enjoy the movie? It's not like necessarily. It's a major theme in the movie, obviously, but there is other things to enjoy about the movie. In terms of the story, the script, the characters.
There is, and what I was most impressed about is, I'm not in that Formula One world, but holy crap, man, the technology that they use in this, how the simulation scenes alone, the how they determine what type of tires to use. Now with me, I get a little confused because also I don't know the rules of racing. So what's a blue flag? What's the red car? All this kind of different terminology that I'm kind of like, but they do a pretty good job of explaining it to you. So it's not like they say, oh, here's the blue flag or whatever. They actually explain what it is. Oh, here's the red car. I forgot the terminology.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag stops the race.
Stop the race. So it tells you, so you're not like, I don't know what that is, So if it's like if you're watching a football movie, somebody that doesn't know anything about football, You want to understand what it means. So they do kind of teach you along the way. And look, you're going to see some cameos by some of the Formula One players. If you're Lewis Hamilton's in there, I mean, hell, he got to produce a credit.
He produced the movie, so
yeah, he
I mean,
produced the movie.
But that's part of the reason why I think it's so good, because someone who's in that sport
Yes.
and who's the most successful driver in that sport, 7-time world champion,
Yeah.
he had a lot of input on that. So
Yes.
that's kind of gives you an idea of the legitimacy of the movie. I feel like
I agree with you. Again, my only setback was the length of the movie. I also will say I think the ending was a little bit predictable for me with the way it
really.
it went.
See, I thought it was going to end differently.
Not the very end,
Okay,
but the race part. So if that makes any sense, like who won the race and all that kind of stuff. So kind of how the relationship between Damson's character and Brad Pitt's character, to me, that's what I meant, was it was a little predictable. But the very end, I was like, okay, I didn't know he was going to go off and
no spoilers
and whatever. So good movie. With that, it's time to do what we do. If you don't know already, we don't do a 5-star rating system. We do a 5-pump system.
That's right.
So Chaz, do you want to kick it off and do the honors for us? Because this is,
I hadn't thought about it.
we're gonna get a curls on the fly.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. I want to see what's
where we
happening
go.
here.
All right.
1,
2, 3. Ooh, going to 4.
Oh, I knew it.
And we're going 4.5.
4.5 pumps.
That's where I'm at.
That's a record right now in this this small edition that we've just started. So, okay, 4.5.
All right, so I know where I need you to be, and you better be there.
Oh, here we go. We got the bicep in there. 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Yeah, buddy. 3.5.
I can already see what's coming. Cue the horn fail.
3.5. Hey, 3.5 pumps is a success. It's an above average film.
It's an abomination, is what it is.
Abomination.
An abomination.
Look, just because this is your area of expertise, I'm not going to go up there and 4.5 stars and get all excited about it. We got to temper expectations. So,
killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Look, 4.5, 3.5.
That's an average of
4. So if you want to take that with what you will, go check it out in the movies. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed.
You're not. That's what I was gonna say. You're
Absolutely
not going to be disappointed, even if you're not on cars. 3.5 rating is still great. Obviously, if you're into cars, you're going to like it just that much more, I think, because they did do it right. So yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, good
Better than Talladega Nights, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's no Mike Concho, but
it's not Mike Concho. All right. Well, with that, hope to see you at the movies.
We'll see you in the gym.